Y'all, it's your girl T, and I am back with another video. And in today's video, I am going to talk to you about a loss that I took within my business. I mean, of course, as a business person, you're expected to take losses, which I've taken several, but this is something that I feel I need to share so that you don't make the same mistakes that I've made. But before we get started, if you're new here, then welcome. If you're not, then welcome back. Please make sure you follow me on all my social medias, as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I make a new post. And yeah, let's get right into it. She used to work at King of Diamonds on a Monday, only hit the club on Saturday and Sunday. I used to pull up every week, you should have seen her. The way she did it, nobody could do it. So I'm gonna attempt to style a wig while I talk to you guys. We'll see how that goes, because y'all know I can get sidetracked and just get to talking. But anyways, you know, in business, a lot of people always show the success of their business. They always show the ups, but they never show the failures or the mistakes or the downs in their business. And I don't want to be the one that just show every time I'm doing good, because in reality, your business is not going to always just be doing good. There are going to be times where you're going to do bad, but the key is you have to make sure that you don't let that discourage you, and you don't let that, allow you to quit in your business. So, this one particular loss that I made in my business, or that I had in my business, this happened the end of last year, I believe. So this happened a while ago. However, I'm just getting back into it. And this is one of the topics that I want to make sure I get out to you guys. So, what happened was, I decided that, within my business, I'm doing good. I want to introduce products and different sorts of things that complements my wigs. So, you guys know that I offer, I offer wax sticks. I offer wholesale products, but I offer headband, satin wraps, all kind of stuff. So one of the latest things that I released was my stylish styling foam. So let's talk about the styling foam. I did great at launch of it, and I did great when it came to promoting it and getting a sale anytime I post, which was perfectly fine. But let's backtrack to me researching and finding a vendor and testing and things like that. So I tested out, I knew I wanted to introduce a foam, because I feel like a foam was a good addition to wigs, and I knew that I always use a particular foam to lay my lace, but why not come up with my own instead of recommending someone else's. But anyway, so I knew the key components that I wanted to look for in the foam. So of course I started doing my vendor search, and I started testing out foams. So I only tested out two different vendor foams. Being the second vendor foam, I liked a lot better. So I ended up going with that vendor's foam. But I sampled the foam. I received the samples. I sampled the foam for maybe about 3 weeks. Anytime that I put my wig on, it did perfect. The particular vendor, they made my bottle. So here's my foam. Hold on. All right. So here's the bottles. They made my labels. Well, I designed the label, but they put the labels. They did the white bottles. The white bottles came from them, and everything. So after approving the sample, I decided to go ahead and place the order. And I ordered, I believe, 100 bottles to start off with. I think 100 or 200. But either way, I ordered a large quantity, because the more you order, the cheaper that it comes. So upon getting it, selling it, it was doing well. I didn't have a problem with it anytime that I decided to use it, that I could recall. It wasn't until about 3 weeks or 4 weeks into me introducing the phone to my line, that I received the email, only one, and a customer reached out to me, and she mentioned to me that the foam was not coming out like foam. It was coming out like liquid when she sprayed the bottle. And for whatever reason, it wasn't holding. Now, in the directions and some of the things that I made sure to let the vendor know that I was looking for was like a holding foam. Like I wanted it to be kind of firm. And I also looked at some of the different ingredients, you know, things like that, just to make sure that it didn't have alcohol in it, things like that. So anyway, she told me that it wasn't holding for her, and for whatever reason, it was coming out like liquid. It wasn't coming out like foam. So of course, I replied back if she could send me a couple of videos, you know, a couple of pictures, you know, just to let me see what's going on. She did. She had no problem. She was very nice. She didn't come to me rude or anything. So she sent me videos. Y'all, she sprayed the foam and she like did the pump, and it literally was like dripping down. And she would shake it, because I did mention in the email, make sure you shake it up, you know, where's it stored, things like that. She shook it, still the same thing. So I'm like, maybe she got a bad batch. Like, I don't understand. Mine isn't doing that. My sample one isn't doing that. And then I just got one bottle out of the box and it didn't do that. So what in the world? So I became worried, because I started immediately thinking as a business person, like, well, how many other people could be having this problem? Is it just her? She's the only one, the first person that reached out. So I decided to go into the box, you know, where I store my foam. And I said, let me try another foam. So I grabbed a different bottle of foam, squirted it, liquid. Got another bottle of foam, squirted it, liquid. Shook it up, liquid. Like, I'm like, what is going on? Why is this not foam? If I'm supposed to be selling foam, it should come out as foam, right? So what is really going on? So now I'm very upset, and I'm not understanding why my bottle, you know, why some bottles are, some bottles aren't. What's the problem? So I immediately reached out to the vendor and let the vendor know. I sent the vendor videos, and I even sent the vendor a video with cropped out showing my customer trying it. And I let them know, like, you know, I'm selling this and it's not doing as, you know, advertised. You know, what should I do? So at this point, it was already past like the 30-day protection from Alibaba, because that's of course what I got my vendor. But so the buyer's protection was invalid, but I didn't know that at the time. But anyways, it was past 30 days or 60 or 90, I don't know how many days, I forgot, but it was past that time, because if it's within a certain amount of time, you can dispute it, or, you know, open a case with Alibaba. So the vendor, you know, told me to try a couple more bottles, and so I did, and I'm like, look, this is what it's doing. Like, I'm not lying, and I've sold them. So at this point, I felt the need to reach out to every person that purchased my phone and let them know that there's a recall on the phone, whether they have the issue or not. I had to make a decision to whether I was going to, you know, refund them, or whether I was going to reach out to them at all, being that they didn't reach out to me. But I didn't want my business to look bad on the end of me knowing that it was a certain product out there that was not doing what it should have with my name on it. So emailed them, I sent a recall email out, and I did refund them. So it was either I was going to refund them, or I was going to wait and see if the vendor sent me a different batch or sent me more, or find another vendor and then just send them a complimentary foam and tell them to discard the other foam. You know, if they're not having that problem, like I wasn't having that problem, then they just get 2 foams or whatever. So anyways, that was done, which, you know, it was a dent. It hurt my business a little bit, but, you know, at the end of the day, I'd rather save my business and my name, and save the quality of my work and my reputation, instead of, you know, just being money hungry. So, the vendor, me and the vendor went back and forth. I'm like, what can you do about this? And at this time, that's when I found out that I couldn't go through Alibaba to get the protection back. But I was still trying to be very professional. I didn't just straight cuss them out and say you sold me some scam stuff. I didn't do any of that. But yeah, so I just basically try to keep open communication and see what it is that seller can do for me. So this seller told me that I had to spray out at least 30 or 40 bottles of foam on video so that they can see before they can reimburse me. And they wouldn't reimburse me the whole amount. They would reimburse me some money. And I'm like, I'm not about to spray all of them. Now I could have, but I'm like, I'm not about to just spray all them, because what if it's just one box? Like they came in like big boxes, like 3 big boxes. Like, I'm just wasting product too. And what if I can't prove all 30 of these do that? So I just said, at this point, it's whatever. I'll just take a loss, but I'm not selling them. So I pulled them from my website. I marked them as sold out at first because I thought that I would, possibly find another vendor and come up, with another phone. But then I just took them off my website all in all because I just didn't really have the time to go through and try and test another one. And two, I kind of got a little discouraged, but I just felt like, okay, T, maybe you're moving too fast. Slow down a little bit, and focus on some of the things that you already have out, and just, you saw the solution, and if you don't have to make a big deal out of it, you understand the loss that was taken. So I I took it off the website. But I say all this, I'm sharing all this with you guys overall, just to say that, I know there are a lot of businesses, business owners, big businesses that watch my channel, follow me, and, feel like I motivate them. And I'm so glad that I'm able to help you guys. But I also want y'all to know the real deal. And I want y'all to know that, when it comes to adding certain products to your brand, be very cautious and very careful about what you add. Don't be so fast to just drop a new product because you see another company dropping a new product. Not saying that's what I did, but just in general, I see this a lot. Like, make sure you're selling your main product first, which I think I said this in another video, but don't just go out I'm gonna sell waxes, I'm gonna sell lace tint, I'm gonna sell the tinted lace tint, I'm gonna sell heat protect, I'm gonna sell, don't just start doing all that because you get greedy and you just trying to sell a whole lot of stuff, and that's not the way to go. That's how you're gonna end up losing, because something ain't gonna sell. Something ain't gonna sell. You let one thing sell, you let that push that before you release something else. But you have to be careful with the ingredients that are inside of, when it comes mainly to like products and stuff, like the glues and even the foam and stuff like that. Like, I don't think that, no, I'm not gonna say I don't think, I know that I'm not going to use outside, like a vendor outside of US for like a foam or glue or something. And that's just me personally, because it's not a whole lot you can do. Like in my case, it wasn't. And then you don't know. They can say that they put these certain ingredients in it, but you don't really know exactly what they put in. Just like my foam, like they could have gave me a sample of a really good foam that actually had all the ingredients in it, but then they could have sold me like foam bottles with something that's missing an ingredient. So, like, I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. We would hope that they wouldn't do that. However, there's businesses out there that, it ain't nothing you can really do. But if you do decide, whatever, it doesn't matter what vendor it is, make sure if you're gonna put your name and you're gonna stand behind a product, make sure that you test it, and test it for longer than I did. Like I said, I only tested 2 types of foam. First one I really didn't like because it didn't do nothing, and then this one that I did decide to go with, it was doing what it was supposed to, but I don't know that I tested long enough. And then 2, if you do order in bulk, check a variety of them, check different ones from your bulk order just to make sure, because you just want to just be careful. And then 2, like when it comes to selling something Make sure you inform your customers of what it is, whether it's what ingredients in it or just whatever, because you would hate for a customer to come to you and they break out based on what's in your wax or your foam or whatever, and you don't really know what's in it, and then now they're gonna sue you, and it could just be a bigger issue than what it is. There's so many things that could have possibly went wrong, with that, with my situation. I'm just grateful that, okay, I lost some money, but I take this as a learning lesson and I'm okay. Like, my business that wasn't the end of my business. And I apologized to the customer, and I refunded her, and she was so grateful. And she was just like, I just want to let you know, just in case you wasn't aware, and I'll make sure it just was my bottle. And I'm like, no, I've checked a couple other bottles. So I'm very honest. So, anyways, what else I was gonna tell y'all? Basically, just when y'all come out with products, just test it for longer than, test for longer than 2-3 weeks. Just because it do what it's supposed to do 1 or 2 times, that don't give it a go. You want to at least test it for at least 3 months. I think maybe if I would have I don't know if it's because the bottle sat, like, it's so many things it could have been, but I just don't know. So anyway, so I'm sitting here and I have a whole lot of foam in boxes downstairs. What am I gonna do with these foams? So months go by, because like I said, this happened in the last year. Months go by and I came across another foam vendor, and of course I decided to try the foam. But this time, this foam vendor was a US foam vendor, and the thing about this vendor was they sell their foams. You can get them in your custom bottles like this, or you can buy them by the gallons. So I decided to just get a gallon. I did have a sample, and I did like the sample. I went with them. I bought a gallon. So I bought a gallon, and I'm like, what I can do, I got these bottles. Maybe I can empty out the bottles of this foam, because it could be something wrong with the ingredients in this foam, and pour so I can still use the bottles, because remember, I paid for these bottles too, and nothing's wrong with the bottle, at least I'm thinking. So I poured out a couple of foam, like 6 bottles of foam, poured them out. I used my gallons and put them inside of these. I went to use them, and what happened? I did this a while ago, and I was telling my husband, I was like, babe, I'm gonna use the bottles, and I found another phone, and I'm just gonna bring my phone, I'm gonna release my phone back out again. But I don't know if it foamed up. I don't remember, because I said, yeah, it didn't foam up. And so I'm like, wait, it could be the bottles. Like, the whole time, it could be the bottles. And so my husband's like, maybe you should buy a foam bottle and pour your own ingredients into it and see if it foams, and see if it's not these cheap bottles or something. So I haven't got to that point yet, but I am going to do that before I pour out anymore. Good thing I didn't just pour out like 50 bottles. I started with 6. But yeah, so I have to get another foam bottle and try it out, because the gallon, the little sample that I received, it foamed out, but when I poured it into this, it didn't. So, child, that might be the problem. But anyway, that's something that I have to figure out. And if I decide to release later on down the line, I will. But right at this point, I'm not, and it's definitely a loss in my business, because at the end of the day, I lost money. I had to refund all the customers that bought the phone, and yeah, so I don't know. We're still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with all the bottles down there, but right now, I mean, it's not making me any money, and it's just sitting, and there's expiration dates on things, so I don't know how long it's gonna last, and yeah. So that's my little story on, me and my business loss that I've taken. Like I said, it's not the first, and it definitely won't be the last. However, my attitude about it is not, super negative. However, I won't, deal with that vendor. And I definitely, if for those of you who know I sell a vendors list, that vendor was not on my vendors list. It never was, because it was like after I created my vendors list, and I would not, sell them. And then I know some people may say, share who it is. No, I'm not. That's just not, I'm not doing that. Maybe they've changed their formula, who knows? But right now, at this time, I'm not exposing it. You can feel how you want to feel about it, but I just want you guys to understand the moral of the story is, make sure that when you do your testing, you test for an accurate amount of time. You make sure that you read the ingredients, and that, if something does go wrong, it's okay. Just let your customers know, remove it, and, continue to move along in your business. So I hope this video helped someone, and if it did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment below on what you think, or if you ever had a experience where you've taken a loss in your business. Don't be afraid to share. Let's make it something normal, that it's okay to share things that aren't always good. But yeah, make sure you follow me on all my social medias at Stylish House by Tee, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye, y'all.